Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. I'm your master cosmologist, the head cheerleader to the stars, here with a weekly forecast for the collective for the week of May 11th through May 17, 2026. I am working with the Journey of the Sacred Bee Tarot and the Oracle of the Radiant Sun. The word that I channeled for all signs this week is the word ideal. It came in these two different forms, and we will get to the details of these two forms in just a moment. But we will grab the actual definition out and define it. Ideal is an adjective which means satisfying one's idea of what is perfect. Ideal as a noun is a person or thing or idea that is regarded as perfect or as a standard for attainment or imitation. It's also coming through with idealists, idealize, and ideation. All right, so back to the board here. The first form that it's taking is just what I defined for you a second ago. And the second form it's taking is I deal, you as the dealer. I making the deal, I dealing the cards. And also there's a little side note here of the cards or the lot you've been dealt in life. The sun in Taurus is about more ideal. The earth being in Scorpio is things that are less ideal. This week is going to be what you are willing to accept and what you are willing to not accept. It's what you're willing to put up with and what you're not willing to put up with. Ideal doesn't mean everything is actually perfect. It doesn't mean that everything is a utopia. It is a 50-50 proposition. For everything that you love and desire and want in your experience, there's a flip side to that. You know, it comes with some crap. It comes with some bullshit is what this axis says. You have to take the good with the bad and you just have to deal with that. That's ideal. What's ideal is how you deal with it. So there is that I deal with things quality where once you may have been in a flop sweat and just couldn't deal at a certain point with things anymore. Now you're being asked to come back into your power, your authority, your autonomy, etc., and say, I'm willing to deal with this stuff again. I'm willing to take this on. I'm willing to take the parts that aren't my favorite so I can have the good stuff that I actually desire in my experience. We're also talking about what's ideal in your human design chart. What's ideal according to your human design chart. So you can't escape yourself, essentially. It's like, here's your blueprint. And when you're in transference and when you're behaving as your not self, your life is less ideal. And the more congruent you can be with your own blueprint, you'll find yourself in more and more ideal circumstances. And orange juice is the ideal power up for this video. When channels are this big and this transformative, it takes a lot to bring them forward, actually. So we are going to be having experiences with our ideal habits and our ideal environment. You're going to probably be feeling into what feels like your ideal habits, your ideal day, your ideal rhythm, your ideal circadian rhythm. One of the things that has been coming through for me personally is becoming fully crepuscular, which is up at sunset and very active at dawn, and kind of idle during the other hours of the day and night. I've kind of always felt that way, but I've always either fought it or just went along with the clock or the work schedule, right? So you're going to begin to feel very big urges that won't be deniable. Like your body's going to put you to sleep when it needs you to sleep from here on out. And the further you get away from your ideal, the further you push yourself into not self, the further your body is going to swing in the opposite direction to let you know like you're out of whack. It's going to just let you know really firmly when you're out of whack, and it's going to give you a smack. With the environment piece, when you really adhere to your strategy and authority in human design, you'll naturally find yourself in the correct environment and around the correct people. And the subset of that is the environment style. There are two environment styles. One is observed and the other is observer. If you are out of whack with that, you're going to have a major switcheroonie right now. I keep channeling that observer becomes observed and vice versa, where the front of the house becomes the back of the house and vice versa. If you were in the public eye and that's not correct for your design, you are going to get thrown into a different position. And I'm guessing that this is going to be out of your comfort zone or out of the norm. For example, if you have been a prominent public figure, that might feel like it's you, it might feel true, it might be what you're accustomed to, but this week is going to say, no, that's not it. And it's going to start forcing those people to be in the back of the house. That doesn't mean it's a less important role. It's not, one's not better, one's not worse. It's just correct for you. And both are necessary. You have to have the back of the house. Like if you're in a restaurant, if you go to a restaurant, the cooks are no more important than the servers, and the servers are no more important than the cooks. It's a team. But some of them are in behind the scenes, and some of them are out serving the world, serving the public, having a public face and public persona and public dealings. What else? With the ideal, it's like I said, I deal the cards, I deal the variables. I don't get whipped around by the circumstances and whatever variables the rest of the world wants to toss at you, or whatever universal banana peels the universe wants to crack itself up with as you slip all over them. This is like next level self-accountability, where I deal with this, I deal with it, I deal with it. I'm willing to deal with this. I'm willing to take this on. If you've been throwing up your hands in frustration and I can't deal with this, 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 guess what? This week, universe is like, deal with it. Your soul says deal with it. Your highest, biggest, most responsible self is like, hey, I'm tired of this crap, deal with it. It really is making a bargain with oneself too. You know, there's an ideal moment to seize opportunity right now, and if you miss that chance, you're going to miss it forever and it won't come around again. Gain, capital G, capital A, capital I, capital N. There is major, massive gain to be had. That was at 911. But you have to seize the moment. You have to carpe diem that, and you have to make a deal, make a bargain with yourself that you are going to deal with whatever needs to be dealt with, all the crap that comes with the ideal things. Let's see. With ideation, this dream, this thing that you muse over, this thing that you play around in your mind with over and over again, with the Earth in Scorpio, it's going to go from concept, it's going to breach, it's going to surf, it's going to have a breakthrough. It's ready to be birthed. And that was at 10, which is the number of Taurus. It's going to come to the light, the sun in Taurus, to become real, to be made manifest. It's going to begin to come into formation, basically. We have the sun at 20 degrees of Taurus beginning the week, and it is going to semi-sextile Jupiter at 20 degrees of Cancer. That is a moment to rehydrate. I'm telling you, these channels are getting to be more and more important, weightier, and I heard deadlier. Like, if you don't step into the ideal that the stars and the earth, the message that is being delivered, it's just going to be not good. It's not going to work out very well for you anymore. It's kind of do or die. We just had Pluto go retrograde, and I feel like one of the things Pluto is having us face while it's in retrograde is our own personal natal Pluto, which I call do or die. You either do it or you learn about your Pluto, correct it, deal with it, basically. Anywho, that Jupiter semi-sextile with the sun, Jupiter's at a mastery, 3rd decan degree of Cancer. It's the parents, the 2, and the 0 protection. This means that you have internal guardians that are protecting you now, and they're going to take care of the baby ideally. So ideally, you're going to have an excellent mother, an excellent father, and they are going to provide ideal care for the inner child and nothing less. This is also the breach of the Divine Mother. The Divine Mother, the mother principle, the divine feminine has been suppressed, and she is surfacing. She's breaking through what's been holding her down. It's just like a whale breaching the water, the surface level of the water, and coming up for air and taking a huge gulp of air, a deep, deep, nourishing breath. I felt that in my lungs deeply. And the other aspect of that breach is it's a security breach. Like, whoop, whoop. Sorry, there's a big loud engine. They're doing wheelies back there in the park. Yeah, it's a breakout. It's a bust out of jail, basically. She is throwing off her shackles, and she is getting her full expression. She's having that return to her because she's claiming it, essentially. It's getting rowdy out there. There's a Latino party and drunk wailing and drunk singing. There's people doing donuts and people roaring up and down the street, which is telling me very clearly that I'm not in the ideal environment. Duly noted, universe. Okay. Anyway, the sun is going to cross the fixed star Algol. Algol is the demon star. Algol deals with addictions. This is kind of like your last hurrah, your last opportunity to really address the addictions that prevent you from accessing the things that are ideal in your life and putting you into less than ideal circumstances over and over and over. On top of that, on Sunday, we have Uranus, Mercury, and the asteroid Sedna all conjoining at 1 degree of Gemini, which is no is a loving word. No is a complete sentence, and no is a boundary. It is Sedna putting her foot down for good. Like, I said nah. I said nah. I said nah to that. And I meant no. Really strong self-love as the sun goes over Algol. It's no small feat that the sun is performing there to shine a light on every single last one of your addictions and highlight them and make that deal with yourself that I've said nah to that. I've had enough. Enough is enough. No more bullshit. No more self-bullshit. No more self-degradation. Mars will be at 29 degrees of Aries. So Mars, the ruler of Aries, will be at the final degree of its home turf that day, which it kind of reads as no more fighting for the wrong team, no more fighting for the old system and jumping teams, a mutiny basically, and fighting for the team that you actually represent. It also is coming through as a war system reconfiguration, like how war and fighting is even done on the planet. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's distracting me. Okay, pay attention. So I'm hearing to explain what's less than ideal here. But let me make one more point about the astrology, because I'll forget it. Lastly, the North Node is at 5 degrees of Pisces. It slips off of 6 down to 5. And this is the ideal balance of the brain. This is dark, perfectly balanced with light. This is left hemisphere and right hemisphere in a beautiful harmonic interplay. This is knowing when to be light and dark. This is knowing when to be harsh and when to be easy. This is like this really intricate dance of what's ideal when, because it's not always ideal to be nice. It's not always ideal to be easygoing. And that is a very delicate balance. It is a lot of self-awareness and what's the word I'm looking for? Discernment. All right. So with all this less than ideal stuff that's going on in the background, I'm still powering through. I'm still delivering the message. And I am recording in a less than ideal setup. I've got poor lighting. I've got a weird background. I'm recording in the back of a toy hauler RV with my lovely tapestry here. I've got vintage in one corner. I've got shipping supplies in the other. Does this look like the ideal filming getup that I'd love to have with my hair and makeup done perfectly? Nope, not at all, but I'm still showing up. I'm pushing past my own discomfort and my own idealism, my need for perfection and everything to be just right before I do anything, to be here and show up for you and deliver the message. So I hope you can learn something from that. Just do it. Just do it. All right, let's get a B card first and see what wants to be added to that message, if anything. I have the Magician and the Princess of Discs. Earlier today, what was I doing? I was putting food in a plastic Tupperware type container, and it was shaped like this shape here. And I heard Merkaba, and I heard Metatron and Metatron's cube. So there seems to be some reconfiguration of the architecture, of the structure, to be the ideal conditions for bees, for a more bee-like human culture where there is cooperation and structure and harmony and working for the one. It's service to all instead of service to self. I love that the Magician came up here because she's the ideal. She's the dealer. Ideal. I set up these structures. I set up the perfection. I set up the geometry. And it's coming from her ideal words. This card to me is saying that your words are magic. This is giving me Florence. Is it Scoville's Shin? Your words are magic. Your words matter, basically. And if you are speaking less than ideally in any circumstance, you are creating a distortion around you. So it's very important to change your words and your thoughts and choose your words carefully and wisely. With the Princess of Disc, I get like a beginner. Beginner mode. Don't be too hard on yourself. There's probably going to be a lot of slip-ups and a lot of minor distortions as you practice this. Basically, practice makes progress. Practice makes perfect. You aren't expected to be a master of this yet. Just take baby steps, take it one day at a time, go easy on yourself. And when you catch yourself, it doesn't mean that you've flubbed. It doesn't mean that you've messed everything up. And it doesn't mean that you are going 3 steps back. It just means to correct, course correct, edit as you go, basically. All right, let's get one more card and call it our message, because my voice is starting to go. My voice is starting to go because this is what's onboarding in the throat chakra. Friendship. You know what I get here? Well, I first of all get Thoth, and I also get being a good friend to yourself, being a loving friend. By week's end, when Mercury, Sedna, and Uranus get together at 1 degree of Gemini, that's like being a loving friend, and that's thinking loving thoughts and speaking loving words. That is speaking life. That is speaking ideal words for yourself. Speak to yourself like you're speaking to a friend. Speak to others in a friendly manner. This is going to bring about greater coherence, greater cooperation, greater alignment, and it will shuttle quite rapidly more ideal things into your life. I'm also getting morning glories. Here, morning glory flower essence, which I actually sell. You can contact me if you need some. Mine is bottled with the stars. It's hermetically sealed. That's the first time I've ever plugged anything that I've created ever on my channel. It's like I have a deal for you. Boy, do I have a deal for you. My essences are amazing. Anyway, on that note, I will leave it there. I hope that was informative and helpful, and I hope you have a beautiful, brilliant week. I will catch you all on another video. Bye.